This video is not a how-to with the Rylo. It's about tips and tricks that I've learned, especially when it comes to dealing with the files. Just a couple disclaimers. The Rylo is the only 360 camera that I've ever used, and also I only know iPhone and Mac. The Rylo is awesome because you gain really dynamic footage, and the 360 video content is obviously really cool, but it's a lot more work. There's an extra step involved in choosing the camera angles, where your viewpoint pans, and following objects in the frame. You actually have to create the clips. And there's a lot of rigmarole with dealing with the files because they're so big and because Rylo does not have a desktop app yet. You have to use your phone to edit the files. 4 things you'll definitely need to start. Number 1 is a larger SD card. The camera comes with a 16 gig card only. That's not going to cut it. I recommend getting the biggest card you can right away, and even 2 of them. They fill up fast. Number 2 is the adventure case. Although this camera is relatively inexpensive, it's still not cheap. One crash and your camera's gone. The adventure case protects it. Number 3 is an extra battery. Taking 2 pictures at the same time takes twice as much battery power, and the camera dies relatively quickly compared to other cameras. I recommend getting an extra battery and carrying it along with you. Number 4 is an external hard drive. If you don't already have one, these files are pretty big and my computer got filled up already. Now I just have a Mac Air, and although it has upgraded storage space, it doesn't have that much storage space relative to the Mac Pro, but still I recommend getting an external hard drive and keeping your files there. The Rylo comes with a nice handy dandy pouch, and I use that to keep the camera free of dust in travel, but I also use it to carry the extra battery, the extra SD card, and the iPhone cord when I'm on my rides. Rylo has really good step-by-step support for transferring files. Refer to support.rylo.com for that. This is just some things that I've learned along the way. Number 1 is cleaning the SD card and storing the files on your computer to edit at a later date. Now, using the app to clean the SD card means hardlining your phone to your computer and using iTunes to make the file transfer. That's just too high maintenance. It's much easier just to take the card out of the camera and use a mini SD card reader and go direct to your computer. Again, Rylo support has detailed instructions on how to do that. Just a little side note, it's kind of a duh, but I've learned the hard way that what you name your files is really important. I name my files by the location and the date, and I format the date by the year, month, and day. That way, when I organize my name in my computer, they're listed in order. Once you transfer your files to your computer, don't forget to delete them off the SD card. That's the whole reason. Sometimes you have to use the app when you're out on the trail to clean the SD card so you can keep filming. When you're ready to edit, first make sure the app is clean of any media. To get the files you want to edit onto your phone so you can edit them in the app, you'll have to use iTunes. See Rylo support for step-to-step instructions on how to do that. Now you're ready to edit. This is kind of the hard part. When you select a viewpoint, the camera likes to move from that. Don't be afraid to just keep selecting that viewpoint. The best advice I can give for editing in this software is just play around with it, get to know it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You can always delete them. I do recommend viewing the file after you save it because it does kind of do weird things sometimes. For example, say you wanted the camera to pan, sometimes it'll just switch view. So go back in and change those things and resave the file if you have to. Whenever you're saving any files from your app to your phone, make sure your phone is in landscape mode, because if it's in portrait mode, it'll save them in portrait mode. When you save your clips, select HD video and it'll save them to your photos. Now here's kind of the weird part. You want the clips on your computer, but it's going to take forever for photos to upload to iCloud and then download to Photos on your Mac. I'm not going to wait for that, so I recommend doing a hardline import to Photos. Plug your phone into your computer, open Photos, click import, select the clips that you want, and import them into Photos. Now, weird thing about Mac is you can't just pull the clips from the Photos app into your video editing software. You'll have to export those files to a folder on your computer or your external hard drive, whatever you prefer. I usually keep things on my computer while I'm working with them, and then when I'm done with the project, I move them to an external drive. Once you've exported them, make sure you delete them from Photos, and then check your phone, make sure they're deleted from your phone as well, because they do take up a lot of space. Once the files are on your computer, you can import them into the video editing software of your choice and get to work. See how it took a few more steps to get there? But you're there and you have very dynamic video with panning camera angles and following objects. It's really cool, just a little more work. Now, let's talk about working with the 360 files. You'll have to use Premiere Pro to do any editing on 360 files because iMovie doesn't work right. It likes to crop them and that messes everything up. And Premiere is just, in my opinion, the better software than the other options. I do recommend trimming your clips in the app. Premiere is robust software. It has a lot of options. It's confusing for me. I don't really know it that well. For me, it's easier just to trim it really quick in the app. It works the same way as trimming video clips in your Photos app on your phone. In the Rylo app on your phone, save the clip you want to use as a 360 video. It'll be then saved to your Photos on your phone. Perform a hardline import with Photos on your Mac. From the Photos app on your Mac, export to your computer, and then don't forget to delete the files from Photos and from your phone. From there, you can import the clips into Premiere and put them together the way you want. Make sure that they're not cropped in any way. When you're ready to export, the export settings are really important. In my troubleshooting, I found that the best file format to choose is H.264. Make sure that VR video is checked and monoscopic. I like to choose highest render quality possible. Once you export and the file is saved to your computer, then you need to inject the metadata. I use Media Metadata Injector. Say that 10 times fast. Media Metadata Injector. I did it! Once you inject the metadata, that'll save an injected file and upload that file to YouTube. Now, Safari doesn't work for uploading 360 content. You'll need to use Firefox or Chrome. I like Firefox just because I'm a little more used to it. And now you have cool 360 video on YouTube. In review, working with the Rylo is a little more high maintenance because you have to carry 2 cords and a few extra things. The files are a little difficult to deal with because they're so big and because Rylo doesn't have desktop software yet. But in my opinion, it's all worth it because of the dynamic footage you gain, and 360 content is just so cool. Make sure you get a bigger SD card, the adventure case, an extra battery, and probably an external hard drive. Alright, I hope this helps you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to share and comment. Thanks for watching.